In this video, I want to share with you the tool that I've used to brainwash myself and give myself a software update over and over and over again, such that my mindset, my identity, and my belief system shifts more and more into the version of myself I want to become. And that tool, as I call it, is positive inputs. And I think Andy Frisella, I first heard him use the word input in this context, and I kind of just picked it up from him, so I can't really take full credit for that. But it's what I've called this idea, this practice since then. And essentially what this is consuming any form of positive input, any media, audio, video, or otherwise, physical material as well, that you can learn something from or inspires you in some way. And so you guys have all heard the expression, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And this points to the fact that the people who you surround yourself with have the highest level of power when it comes to who you become as well. And more specifically, it's not only who you spend time with that you're the average of, you're the average of the expectations of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so most people aren't spending time around high-level people, but it's a very good practice to get in higher quality rooms with higher quality people. Mentors can be a great vessel of exposing yourself to a higher quality person, mindset, skill set, etc. And just in general, getting in better rooms and events and networking, masterminds, things of this nature. But this process can take time. The process of reconfiguring your network such that your network reflects the version of yourself you want to become and the life you want to create, as opposed to reflecting your past, is a process that you can start to embark on over time. In the meantime, and going forward throughout the rest of your life, that's where positive inputs come in. Because just like a person can have an impact on you in regards of how you think and how you act and how you feel and what you feel is normal and what you tolerate, a positive input can also have that effect to a much lesser degree. It's not as powerful reading a book as it is being in the same room with the author per se, but it still is powerful. And so most people have a very negative average set of inputs that they consume. If you think about social media, if you think about the news and anything else, most people are consuming inputs that stress them out, or it's just kind of mind-numbing stuff, right? And so the game is to curate our inputs such that we're feeding our mind and leveling up our mindset. And so again, this can look like podcasts, it can look like audiobooks, it can look like YouTube videos, it can look like physical books, it can look like people as well, again, are the most powerful type. It can look like articles, it can even ChatGPT if you use it intentionally. And there are many forms, but the message I want to convey to you guys here is, on a daily basis, consume things that inspire you. This has been one of the most powerful tools that I've used in my journey, and specifically in hard sections of my journey, because our default wiring doesn't necessarily serve us in many cases. And so again, we need to give ourselves a software update over and over and over again and reinforce that new high quality software over and over and over again until it becomes the default software. And it's often useful to educate yourself specifically on what you're going through. And so, I mean, honestly, any general positive input is good. General inputs on motivation, on podcasts, on self-development, YouTube videos on, business or mindset, whatever, floats your boat. But if you're going through a specific challenge or a specific little piece of adversity or hardship, deeply educating yourself on that topic is an incredibly productive thing to do. It gives you so much fuel and so much context and so much clarity around how to navigate. And it also gives you high-level thoughts and high-level energy that kind of like seeps into you, so you apply a higher level version of yourself to whatever you're going through. There's different levels of intention you can use with positive inputs as well. And so a very intentional method would be having an audiobook playing or a book open. You're taking notes, you're studying, you're recording notes into a folder, you're organizing your notes, and you're building frameworks for yourself. A less intentional might just be listening while you're eating or while you're driving or while you're working out. and the retention will be less in instances like that. But at the same time, it's like sometimes that feels more productive than music. Well, it is more productive than music in a lot of cases. But I find that sometimes, instead of listening to the same song for the thousandth time, let's pop on something that can make me think, or that can inspire me, or that can provoke me to step into a higher level version of myself, or that can give me an idea to go take some action, or whatever the case may be. Positive inputs also tend to have a positive impact on your emotional state. And this is because thoughts are the root of pretty much everything, including emotions. If you really get granular with it, all emotions are on the other side of either conscious or subconscious thoughts happening like this in real time, and the meanings we associate with different things in our life. And so if you can start to inject and brainwash yourself with high quality thoughts, that's going to have a trickle down effect that will lead to a higher quality emotional environment and a higher quality behavior, higher quality action that you take. Because if your thoughts and your emotions are in a higher quality state, so is what you're going to do. And you guys have experience, when you're feeling good, when you're feeling optimistic, when you're feeling confident, when you're feeling like a beast, everything is better, everything's easier. Relationship stuff, easier. Business stuff, career stuff, easier. Taking action that's outside of your comfort zone is easier. Taking action, doing deep work, undistracted work is easier. Hitting a workout is easier. Everything is easier and flows better when you're thinking and when you're feeling in a much higher state. And so this doesn't necessarily mean that when you pop on an audiobook, you're all of a sudden going to be 10 out of 10, like let's go. But it can have that effect over time. And it's certainly better than the common alternative, which is to just bathe in low quality thoughts and low quality emotions and not really do anything about it. And so positive inputs, like I started this video with, is one of the most high leverage tools that I've used in my journey to help myself develop. The game of leveling up your thoughts and leveling up your emotions, it's a very abstract one. It's very complicated. It's very intangible. It's tough to kind of grasp onto what thoughts do I actually need to change? And what software update do I actually need to install? And where are the bugs? Like, what's holding me back here? It's a can be a very challenging game to master. And positive inputs is just one of those things that you can do that just compounds slowly over time. Or if you can just consume more and 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 more good material, high quality thoughts, high quality ideas, strategies, you're eventually going to become a version of yourself that by default thinks on a higher playing field. And again, that has a trickle down effect to everything else, including your behavior, your action, and the results that you create in your life. And in different chapters of your journey, different types of positive inputs might suit you better. You might go through an audiobook phase or a podcast phase or a physical book phase. You might go through a phase where you're consuming hours of it daily because you feel like you need it. You might go through a phase where you're consuming 10 minutes of it daily or nothing daily because you feel like you're more in execution mode instead of consumption mode. There's no right or wrong. Different chapters of your journey will demand different protocols that you take with your self-development. But for those of you who perhaps have not indulged in positive inputs or indulged in them consistently, I offer this to you as an initiative you take to start leveling up your mindset, to give yourself a high quality software update, and to do another thing to help you evolve further into the version of yourself you're meant to become, because that's ultimately what we're here to do. We're here to become the versions of ourselves we need to in order to max out our true potential in life. And so this is one of many protocols that you can take. It's one of my favorites. It's in my experience, one of the most powerful. And so if you want suggestions on what to listen to, feel free to DM me and we can have a conversation. I'll be happy to recommend any books or anything like this. I also have a positive inputs playlist on my YouTube channel. So if you go to the playlist section, there's a positive input section there. And it's just videos that I've accumulated over the time that I found useful and that I go back to here and there. So if you don't know where else to start, feel free to crack open that playlist. And if you also already have positive inputs that you consume that you know are awesome, whether it's a book, a podcast, or a YouTube video, feel free to drop it down below in the comments just to share it with everyone else so they can check it out and it might resonate with them as well. So that's the video for today, guys. Consume positive inputs, brainwash yourself, give yourself a constant software update over and over and over again until you're thinking, feeling, and acting like the version of yourself you know you're truly capable of becoming. So that's my message for you. If you stuck with me to the end here, I appreciate your time and I hope this value was worth your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.